Cotton Mather, The Fabric of Our Lives, Part 3 of 9. 3. The Ku Klux Klan and the Democratic Party. Richard R. Reed, Frank O. McCord, John C. Luster, J. Calvin Jones, John B. Kennedy, and James R. Crow founded the Klan directly following the end of the Civil War. From its inception, Southern Democrats worked hand in hand with the Klan to oppress and terrorize people of color. Extreme violence and terror were tools used by the Klan and, by extension, Southern Democrats. For 100 years, the Democratic Party was the greater of two evils regarding race relations and the suppression of equality. It wasn't that things were so good under Republican-controlled northern states. Rather, it was that things were so bad down in the Democratic-controlled South. In 1954, a brick fell from the wall of inequality when SCOTUS case Brown versus Board of Education. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the first Republican president since 1928, held our nation's highest office when the first brick fell, and the flow of change increased from a slow trickle. Many people in northern states became aware of conditions down there and wanted sweeping changes to occur. The magnifying glass that was held to the South allowed those in the North to understand the magnitude of disparity and degradation that black Southerners underwent daily, all while conveniently feeling superior for the civilized and egalitarian Northern society. The decade between 1954 and 1964 brought sweeping change to American society. Large swaths of Democrats were vehemently resistant to this change, and Southern states had violent repressive confrontation after violent repressive confrontation as the powers that be fought to retain control. Northern Republicans used the whip of public anger to promote themselves as the party of equality. And Republicans were just that, so long as the changes occurred down there. It took mounting violence along with a tsunami of public anger to turn the tide and convince President Lyndon B. Johnson, aka LBJ, a Texas Democrat, to step up and promote equality as a plank of the Democratic Party's platform. Regardless of whether Democrats made the shift toward equality for voter share or decency, Democrats began moving from racial oppressor to explicit user of race as a political tool. The result being a subsequent increase in the leveling of the racial playing field in the USA. Old school anti-equality Democratic Party leaders such as George Wallace, Harry F. Byrd, Lester Maddox, Strom Thurmond, and Mike Mansfield, who refused to acknowledge the need for reform, fought against equality. But the party called for change. With the easing of segregation and an advancing of equality, many rank and file Southern Democrats abandoned their party. It didn't take long for the Jim Crowers of the South to gravitate to the Republican Party, which, and one can only assume was a cynical bid to garner power over principle, soon found itself playing the role of the anti-equality party.